Howdy people, I hope you're well. Welcome to RPI. I'm sorry for it being 10 minutes late. Had a few technical issues with a new setup that I'm trying, and it took me a while to sort it out, but we are there now. So I hope you're all well. I hope people can see me. Let me know that you can hear me all right, using a different camera tonight. Can't see comments from the group, so I'm monitoring that on my phone. Weirdness again, but again, I hope you're well. So yeah, trying a new setup, new camera angle, and all that good stuff. And yeah, so that's what we're doing. It's all looking so far. So hopefully people can hear me. Hopefully I can hear myself. Yeah, I can. So let's go. As I say, I'll keep an eye on the, again, for some reason, comments are not coming in on the group. But anyway, so welcome. I hope everybody's well. First couple of things to talk about is walkers transport, from what I have been told, are coming and going from Ireland on the 5th. Now, I got in trouble before saying the wrong thing, so I'm just going to double check. So the message directly from Mark was deliveries in. I asked him, deliveries into and out of Ireland start on the 5th of May. Then on the 25th of May, back to normal, but the 5th of May, only Ireland. So in theory, the 5th of May, pigeons coming in and out of Ireland. And then from the 25th, all being well, based on what Mark says at the moment, things should be back to normal for everything else. Obviously, still picking up and delivering within the UK. But Ireland from the 5th of May, so that's tomorrow. So that's the info from Mark there. Last week we had James Cook on talking about the miler pigeons, and James last week set up a group for the milers. If anybody wants to join that group, you can join by going to, I'm going to share this now in the streams. You can easily just look for Miler Pigeon Racing on Facebook, or I'm going to put the web link out now on the alerts. So it's facebook.com/groups/Miler Pigeon Racing. And if you go there, then you will be able to join. There's about 30 people in there at the moment. And everybody that's interested in the miler stuff. Now, I'm going to talk about the miler stuff a little bit more as a progression of last week. Like I said, I think it's got a great potential to bring new people in. Like I said towards the end of last week, we're not talking about it replacing pigeon racing as we know it. What we're talking about is bringing new people in. I personally think it's a great thing in addition to pigeon racing as we know it. You know, this miler tradition's been around for years. Back in the 50s and 60s, up north it started. And I've also been told they actually do it in India. You get pigeons flying pretty much street level. You know, who says sprint racing needs to start at 50 miles or whatever? You know, The ultimate sprint would be a 1 or a 5, or a 1, a 2, a 5, or a 10 mile. Single birds, 2 birds, could be different combinations. Now, realistically, the old milers flew into a paddock around, or a square area of land where everybody had their small lofts on the same piece of land. Practically, that may not be as possible these days for various reasons, but you could have milers flying into one loft, going back to the community loft idea. You could have, it goes completely kind of away from the tradition as the community thing, but you could have miler races to each individual's own loft still. There's no reason why you couldn't do that. I think it lends itself better to the community sense of it. But the whole idea of it is, realistically, like I said before, from a members of the public point of view, who, on a numbers point of view, right? So a main numbers point of view, who realistically has got the time in the thousands we need in this sport? Who's got the time to essentially dedicate Friday nights, most of Saturday, to this sport, and then looking after the pigeons throughout the week? And I know people do it, and I know people watching this do it, and that's obviously a given. But what I'm talking about is, for the sheer amount of thousands of people we need to get interested to turn the sport around, I think the miler thing is something that could be more appealing and more practical from a point of view of, with the miler pigeons, people keep no more than probably 10. That's 1 plus. Second of all, if you introduce the community side of it, +2. Potentially that loft could be managed to where people own the milers but don't have to look after them. There's all kinds of combinations. And like I said, it doesn't have to be 1 mile. It could be 5 or 10 miles for different types of competitions. A single pigeon, 2 bird entry, whatever. So if you want to go, I love it. And what we're all trying to do is source milers. We know of a few people. James has got a few. And then Mark Sutton is kind of James's miler guy. Mark's got some, but we're looking for other people who have got these pigeons, because they're a very specific type of pigeon. If you saw the pictures last week, they're a big, full-chested powerhouse of a bird that obviously is designed over time to just fly that 1 mile super fast. These pigeons will fly, some of the best milers will fly 1 mile in 50 seconds. And that includes trapping into the square. And again, there's a few things that realistically may change. But while saying that, we want to keep the principle of the old way of doing it as close as possible. So if you're interested in joining that group, as I said, James, it's not my group. I am an admin on the group to help James out. It's not my group. James Cook from Tomley set it up last week, and we've got about 30 people in there at the moment. All right, so if you want to join it, facebook.com/groups/miler pigeon racing, or just go onto Facebook and search for miler pigeon racing. You'll see the group, and I've just shared it out on various all the platform, all the channels that we're going over at the moment. So before we crack on, let's say hello to others that are joining. Barry Rogers was the very first person to say hi. Welcome to you, Barry. Steve Morgan, evening people. This is the problem. I've got somebody saying, how you doing? I don't know who it is because it shows up an unknown. It's some bug in the software, broadcasting software I use, but apologies, but thank you. I'm doing well. I'm doing all right, thank you. Stephen Morgan says, office looking jazzy. Yeah, we're getting there. It's I got a couple of boxes behind the scenes to finish, and then it's getting there. I got I got a few bits to finish and get done, but we're getting there with it. So yeah, I'm happy with it. Martin Sean Crocker said, yes, I was late. I didn't start broadcasting until 10 past, so apologies. But this new setup, and I got a different camera I'm using, and it took a bit of configuring and stuff. I got actually multiple cameras, but yeah, I was just trying to. I was basically trying to get this camera working and not the others working and stuff. So anyway, all boring, techy, geeky stuff. Tony Hughes on YouTube, how you doing? He says, I'm doing all right. Thank you, Tony. Thank you very much for asking. Graham Boy says, howdy all. Then who have we got in the group? Barry Aldridge is watching. Let's see who else. Kevin Frail's watching. Andy Pereira's watching. Colin Brennan says, how's the parrot? The parrot's all right. He's in the kitchen. His new home's in the kitchen now. I'm thinking of bringing him in, but I haven't really got space for his cage in here. So he's in the kitchen at the moment. Chris Williams says, evening. Graham Boy says, nice setup, thank you. Dean McKee's watching. Ray Kennedy's watching. Avira Corona's watching. Vissa Majboom's watching. Michael Taggart says, call me. You're on my list, Michael. Sorry for not getting back to you, but I will, mate. I'll Skype you. I promise. Thank you for messaging me. Ray Dolan's watching. Jack Pigeon's Lavender's watching. Dave Berris is watching. Joshua's watching. Neil Jensen, Gavin Cooper, Amanda Wallace, Ian Wilday, Mira Terry, Wayne Conway, and Stephen Salmon's watching. So thank you to everybody that's watching. Much appreciated. If I miss your comment, then I will get back to it in the group quickly. Not professional, I know, but needs must. Okay, so first thing to talk about probably tonight is this in the background here. Now, if you've been watching me for a while, you will know that I've mentioned Racing Pigeon Network before. I need your opinion. We've got 95 people watching at the moment, so everybody that's watching that is involved in pigeons, with most of you, a couple of people that I know are watching that are not, so ignore this next bit, but still give me your opinion. Actually, it's relevant. What I need your opinion on is this. A year ago or so, I had the idea of setting up racingpigeonnetwork.com. And it had a false start, essentially. I had the software. I spent money on the software, getting it up and running. The software, we had about 250 people join, and even with 250 people, the software just couldn't handle it. So it was a bit of a false start, and I never really pushed it because I was messing around with the software backward and forward with developers. And then I just came up with the opinion of, you know what, this software needs to be sacked off, and I need to get on with finding another solution. So I have new software that I'm confident will work, to where the only thing that may need to happen over time is that the technical thing where it's hosted, the computer where it's hosted on, would have to be increased over time to handle capacity. So I'm confident the server can work because there's big communities out there based on this software. So the question is this, to the 92 people watching and people watching on the replay. Should I continue with the plan of launching racingpigeonnetwork.com? That's the simple question. Now let me explain what I'm thinking. I launched the RPI Facebook group last year. I can't remember when it was, August maybe sometime. And that group's now got 7,500 people in it. And thank you to all the moderators that helped me moderate it, because it's a big job with that many people in it. And I didn't really want to launch a Facebook group, if I'm honest, because I don't actually like the idea of Facebook groups as a main thing. And what I mean by that is this. You're still under the control of Facebook. Within the Pigeon community, people report stuff for whatever reasons. Pages get took down, groups get took down, and people's hard work after months or years get destroyed overnight for no real great reason. So I don't really, from an outside of Pigeon's point of view, I don't like launching groups on Facebook. But I did it. I actually did it because somebody said, "Oh, he's too big for our group. He should have his own group." So I said, "You know what? You're right. I should," and I did it. But I didn't really want to do it. I'd held off doing it. So let me get to the point. I have the group, the RPI group. The RPI group will continue and it will stay. But I don't like building up a community that's relying on something that's in control of Facebook. And I'll give you an example. Love him or hate him, think he's a complete Fruit Loop, or think actually some of the stuff that he says is accurate. David Icke over the weekend, if you're watching outside of the UK, you may not know who David Icke is. If you're watching in the UK, you may not know who he is. But go and Google David Icke, Ickee. Now I'm a follower of David Icke. Some of the stuff that he talks about, I don't subscribe to in any way, shape, or form. Stuff like reptilian stuff, and specifically lately this stuff that 5G is connected with coronavirus. I mean, to me, makes no sense at all. But some of the stuff he says and knows about is very interesting, to say the least. Now, over the weekend, he had his Facebook page on Saturday. I think it was Friday or Saturday. And then he had his YouTube channel on Saturday or Sunday, not just suspended, but completely closed down, gone. Hundreds of thousands of followers on his page, 900,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel, gone. All of that work, all of that content, gone. No suspension, just gone. And because they didn't like some of the stuff he was posting. And that's my case in point. Building something around these companies. Look, I'm broadcasting on Facebook now. And I love Facebook most of the time, 80% of the time. I think it's a great thing. But at the same time, to build a community around it and be completely beholden, really, to them and their rules, I don't like. And that's why I always had the idea of Racing Pigeon Network to have a social network dedicated to the sport of racing pigeons. It would also include other pigeon types as well. It's called Racing Pigeon Network. It would have other pigeon types in there as well. It would operate pretty much like Facebook, really. It would have groups, it would have forums, you'd be able to do blog posts, all of that stuff. But it wouldn't have some of the rules in there, like posting links to birds for sale. Excuse me. Posting links to birds for sale Oh yes, I am drinking Corona beer. Posting links to birds for sale is a big no-no, causes loads of problems on Facebook. We wouldn't have that stuff to deal with. So, should I do it? Should I launch Racing Pigeon Network is the question. But the second question is, people have said in the past, yeah, it's a great idea. And thank you for that. But would people actually use it? Would you actually not come off Facebook completely, but go away from the Facebook app or however you access Facebook? And would you come to racingpigeonnetwork.com and a mobile app specifically for racingpigeon.com, racingpigeonnetwork.com? Would you use it? Now, from my point of view, I'm prepared to launch it, to create a social network just for the pigeon sport. And despite what my haters say about trying to dominate stuff, I'm doing it with good intentions. One, to get out of this can't advertise stuff for sale, livestock for sale. Two, because Facebook is banned in the single biggest country of pigeon racers in the world, China. Facebook's banned. All being well, Racing Pigeon Network wouldn't be. Three, I'm doing it to cut through a lot of the stuff. I had a text message from somebody earlier on who I speak to via text quite often. In fact, pretty much every morning he messages me to see how I'm doing. Great guy. And he was feeling low for the last couple of days because somebody has messaged him on Facebook saying that his pigeons look crap. And that's made the guy feel depressed. And we wouldn't tolerate that stuff. You know, we wouldn't have any abuse or any hate. We'd have free speech, but we wouldn't have a lot of this stuff that happens. So, I want to know, should I launch it and would you use it? Realistically, I would want to launch it, and I'd want to see 1,000 people join it quite quickly to become a community. And then over time, I would want to build it to where it's substantial and a big group. You know, if you look at the RPI Facebook group now, it's got 7,500 people in it, and it's quite busy and it's good. And this thing would have direct messaging, pretty much, not quite as sophisticated as Facebook, obviously, but pretty much all the functionality that Facebook offers, this would offer as well. So, can I get some feedback on, should I launch it? And if I do launch it, would you use it? And would you go away from Facebook, the app, not leave it, but would you actually, you'd be able to log in via Facebook, by the way. There'd be loads of things that can make it easy for people to join it and access it. And the other thing is this, remember that if you post something on Racing Pigeon Network, you will be instantly able to share that post onto Facebook and wherever else you want. So I need some feedback, guys. Please. I know there's about an 8-second delay on this, so I expect a delay, but people that are watching this, there's 110 people watching it now. Would you use it? And would you help promote it? And would you be active in there? Because there's no point in me, I've already dropped some money on the software that didn't work. That's nobody's fault. Well, it's their fault, really, but that was a whole other story. And I got to put some time and resources into this. And it's something I want to do. So let me know. Right, so we've got some questions coming in and we've got some responses. So let's get some comments coming in. Why am I not seeing who's posting this stuff? This is really paying me off. This update doesn't show me half of the people that are posting it. So let's see some comments. I'll just scroll back to ones I missed. This is such a pain. Just 1 second. I'm going to get a phone because I want to see who I'm missing here. 1 second. I'm just going to use this. Shouldn't have to do this really, but I want to see because I can't see who's posting half of the stuff on my thing here. So just give me a second. Apologies. I love this software. It makes it so easy to broadcast to everywhere. Like I'm broadcasting to the page, the Facebook group, to my timeline, to the YouTube, to Twitter, all of that stuff. But sometimes it just on the comments it screws up and stuff, and it's and I want to see who's posting because it just says unknown, and then I'm missing half of them and all of that stuff. So bear with me a second because I want to get this. I've got comments coming in, so thank you to people that are watching it. Right, now I can see. Okay. All right, so let's catch up. We got loads of other people watching. Neil Gibson. Neil, tell me when you want to come on the show, mate, to talk about Charlie. John Berry's watching. Julian Driver. G Lofts. I owe you a phone call, or sorry, a message. I am not ignoring you. I just need to catch up on my Facebook. When Conway's watching, G Lofts, I will be in touch. David Zirk's watching. Daniel Lordex watching. Zach Brocklebank's watching. James Reynolds is watching. Mickey Brown's watching. All right, Mickey, did get your email. Thank you for that. Damien Prosser-Loss watching. Wooly Lakes is watching. Lisa Amando Polito is watching. Wow, Lisa, I hope you're well. Blimey, I haven't spoke to you in years. So let's get some comments on who says what. Barry Aldridge says, yeah, go for it because I would use it. Cheyenne Martin, Sean Crocker says, was thinking you wasn't going to be on. I look forward to watching every Monday night. You're doing a good job. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Wayne Davis says, keep up the good work. Thank you. Hello from Canada. I don't know who that is. It's not showing me who it is. And Barry Aldridge says, yes, go for it. I would use it. Scott Barron said, would RPN have notifications when someone is posting on it like Facebook does? Yes, absolutely. It would have notifications and all that stuff. And it wouldn't launch with a mobile app. You could access it via mobile, via your browser. But we would look to get a mobile app developed quite quickly within the time. I'm not an app developer. I can set up the website and stuff myself, but when it comes to mobile apps and stuff, despite people thinking I'm a technical genius, I'm not, and I'm no good with mobile apps. So I'd have to get somebody to help me with that. David J. Wilmore says I'd use it. Unknown said I would use it providing a platform was good and accessible, which is a fair point. You know, it's a fair point to say. You know, and it should be. It should work pretty much the same as Facebook. Cheyenne Martin, Sean Crock says yes, I would use it. Go for it, Mark. Morris and Lorna Forey, yes. Hi, yes, I think you should launch it. We'll definitely use and promote here in South Africa. Great. Thank you very much for that, and welcome from South Africa. Great idea. Dean McKee says put it on as a poll on the page. I will do, actually. I will do. I just wanted to talk to you. I wanted to talk to you guys first because you follow me, and what you guys think, guys and girls, matters because you guys are watching me, most of you, week in, week out, and that's why I wanted to mention it first. I will go and put a poll up there, but thank you. Kevin Frow's a lot of web work. Yeah, I've got the software. I've already acquired the software in place, Kevin. It's work. It's work, but it's not coding work. It's just set up and all that stuff. Andre Potier is watching as well. Thank you, Andrew, for watching. Ronald Fewings is watching. Simon Wool is watching. Neil Gibson says the app would have to be launched very quickly for it to work, in my opinion. True. Maybe in reality, Neil, you're right in that we don't launch it until the mobile app's ready to go and launches with it. The software is easily accessible via a mobile web browser, it kind of sets it out like an app, but it's not actually an app. But yeah, you maybe have a point, Neil, that says, yeah. So, all right. So basically, we've got however many people watching now, and some people have said yes. Well, nobody said no, I wouldn't use it. But then saying that, we've got 95 people watching, and we've had about 15 people say they would, which is fair enough, I suppose. So I will put it out as a poll, and I'll share it and see what people say. Personally, I think transfer all of this into the launch of the new site. What do you mean, Kevin, mate? Just tell me what you mean. All right, so thank you for that. Right, I mentioned last week or week before, can't remember, about a new starter book. I think there's a good point to put a new book out for anybody interested in getting into racing pigeons and anybody starting. There's no real thing out there. You can't go and download something, ebook or videos as such. I have been sent a few things which I haven't had time to look through yet. You can't go on Amazon and buy something. There's not that much out there, and I think there should be. And instead of just getting one person's point of view about how to race, how to breed, how to, medication and loft setup, instead of getting one person's opinion, and it certainly wouldn't be me writing it, I would collaborate with it and get it out there, but I wouldn't be writing it. Instead of just getting one person's point of view, I would look to get people who are specialists in their field within the sport or are well known for one particular element of it, right, to contribute. And of course, all of those people would be credited as co-authors of the book. I think that needs to happen. I also think a proper kick-ass promotion video of the sport needs to be done. There was on the second week of Richard Chambers' video sharing thing that he did, there was an absolutely stunning video, and I need to find out who did it, partly promoting the sport. And it was high-end, proper production level quality. It was amazing. I need to see from Richard who sent that and who owns it. I think there needs to be a promo video that can go out there and be on YouTube and be on everywhere else. But one thing at a time. I think there needs to be a starter book. So I already have a couple of people that have agreed to do some contribution to it. Like I said, it would be a case of people contributing, and I would collaborate and put it all together and get it out there, get it printed, get the online versions done and what have you. This would be a non-profit book. So basically, it would be given away as an electronic copy for free, and the Amazon copy would be there to cover the cost. Maybe we could charge a few pounds for it, but any money it did make, would go to charity, go to a non-profit, and go back into pigeon racing. So if you are a particular specialist in the field, a certain field of this sport, and you would be interested in contributing, would you please let me know? And thank you for the more comments coming in about RPN. So we've got Stephen O'Brien watching. Who else? Let's see what Kevin said. So as in all new members of this group site, transfer them on the new site, still have this chat each week, but do it from the new site. Yeah, I mean, this would be from the new site. And the trouble with it is, Kevin, is only doing it from the new site. Although I don't like the idea of building a community, I've got a community on Facebook, 7,500 people. There's an argument down the line to only broadcast it from Racing Pigeon Network, but the reality is that would cut down your market from. There's actually people that share this, and again, thanks to anybody that shared this show. We actually get quite a few viewers from any of the live broadcasts I do, from in the outside stuff I've been doing last year, and I've got viewers now that watch this every week that come because they saw somebody shared it, and I have people. We've got people interested in pigeon racing because of that as well. We've got people that are starting it because of that as well. And if you only do it as a closed group, you don't get that new. They have to join the thing to then even start watching. Whereas if you still continue to distribute it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you'll get new people in and it'll bring new people into the network. What you probably do is you'd probably do certain bits that are only in RPN Racing Pigeon Network. But this main show will always probably be on social media everywhere because we want as many people to watch it and know about what we're doing and know about the sport as possible. So yeah, that's the kind of idea behind it. Yeah, so Kevin, yeah, combine them together, absolutely. Yeah, so Thomas Smith's watching as well. Thank you, Thomas. As I say, my comments have severely let me down this week. I've got to get on to support again and bang on at them about it. It's the only thing that ever lets me down is the comments, but it is what it is, I guess. For anybody that didn't, that's been tuning, I know I repeat myself sometimes on this show, right? But because it's a live show, you know, I can see people that are joining, only joined in the last few minutes. So I do occasionally repeat some stuff that I think it's important. One, Walkers Transport are starting to pick up from Ireland from tomorrow, and they're hoping to resume normal service on the 25th. If you're interested in the miler racing pigeons we talked about, go and join the group that James Cook has set up, facebook.com/groups/miler pigeon racing. Right, that's for the... Yeah, Scott Barron says, keep going on RPI YouTube and Facebook as well as RPI. Yeah, I mean, I would. It'd be published everywhere because, again, it's about getting as many people watching and interested as possible. All right, so at the moment, the idea from the viewers here is that they would use it and like to see it happen. I'll put a poll out on Facebook later and we'll see what happens. Right, I got a little video that I want to show you. It's only a short... There's two videos actually from Andy Pereira. Andy's been a great guy over the last few weeks. He's given me some calls during some tough times. He sent Zandy a few pigeons up, some young birds up. He sent them 5 lovely youngsters. And he's been a really good guy. And Andy owns a dove release business. And I wanted to just share something. This is the first video I'm going to show you is 100 white doves pigeons were released last week to commemorate all of the hard work that Captain Tom has done for the NHS fundraising. So I wanted to share this with you because I think it's great, and it'll get some press, and I think it's good. But I think forget that stuff. I think just what these guys did is really good. So I'm going to share this with you. So that was the guys that they launched. A few dove release businesses got together and they released 100 in commemoration of Captain Tom. The second thing that they're doing, which I want to share again, it's only a short video, a minute and a half. I want to share with you and just tell you about a thing they're doing in May, later on in the month. So I'm just going to share that with you now. Say it's only a minute and a half, but watch this, and I think it's great what they're doing. So just give me a second. Yeah. Oh dear, one of those days. 1 second. I will select the video. I had that one queued up. I thought the other one was queued up, but it wasn't. So let me share this with you.
Good morning. We've this morning done a 100-bird release for Captain Tom to celebrate his birthday, and we are launching today our Just Giving page. And if you go to justgiving.com on the internet and search for NHS National Dove Release, that will give you the explanation of exactly what we're doing on 14th of May at 9 AM. Dove release companies throughout the UK are going to release as many birds as we can in aid of the NHS, but in memorial for the COVID-19 victims. If you look on the website, you will find an explanation that we will put slips of paper into the bird's leg rings, and you can name your COVID-19 victim, whether you be a friend or a member of the family. Those birds will be released, and when they get home, we'll list all those names onto a social media memorial page for everybody to see. We are working in partnership with Dignity, who run crematoriums. It's Dignity CMG, and they have kicked off this fundraising with a promise of £10,000, and we sincerely hope that you will help us along the way to raise as much as we can for the NHS, and we thank you.
So there you go, guys. If you're interested in contributing to that, then I'm going to put the link out now on social. for those of you who can't see it, if you go to justgiving.com/fundraising/NHS National Dove Release, or just go justgiving.com and type in NHS National Dove Release, you'll see it there. It's only just started, so let's go and support it, because I think with the tens of thousands of people that have lost their lives as a result of this horrible thing, to honour and help the families remaining of these people that have lost their lives tragically is a great thing. So they're going to do the dove release later on in May, and I think let's get behind it, and that's why I wanted to share that video with you. So thank you for that. So what else comments have we got? I'm not sure. Whoever said so, if this is allowed, why not training? I'm not sure. Don't know. Not sure. Don't know who that is. I say sorry for people. I can't see your name through one of the channels. And what a great idea. Thank you, Andy, for this. Somebody said thank you. Much appreciated. So what else have we got to talk about? What I'll give you a little update on my end. I spend Aaron Hatfield. I've only had, this is my first beer today. I had a few beers over the weekend while I was working, which I'm going to talk about now. But Aaron Hatfield said, "How much? I hope you're well." Thank you, mate. Yeah. So I normally spend, I don't know, 12, 14 hours a day here in front of computers. And some of you may know I've been working on getting a loft sorted out. And Zandy did a load of work on the phase one, as we were calling it. And Zandy's been at his mum's for a few weeks. Which, if I'm honest, still saddens me. Not that he's at his mum's, he lives at his mum's, but he was spending lockdown with us. And since what happened a couple of weeks ago, which, again, by the way, thank you. I wasn't going to mention it, but it's relevant to Zandy. Since what happened a few weeks ago, Zandy hasn't been here. All being well, he's going to nip over tomorrow with his brother James, which I'm looking forward to. But it does sadden me that since them three horrible people, because I'm not swearing, decided to set my car on fire. Got more CCTV, waiting on getting more CCTV from the pub, and just waiting on the police to do whatever they're doing. But anyway, I didn't really want to mention that, but thank you to everybody that's still messaging me with support. And like I said last week, despite whatever rumours are flying around, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. RPI and Racing Pigeon Live, the TV show, this TV show is not going anywhere. It's going to get bigger and stronger as well. So, but the point was, Zandy's put a lot of work into getting the loft set up. He's been a massive help. But because he's not been here, I want to get it done. I want to do it for him and me, of course. So I'm not the fittest person in the world, but I did about 23 hours over the weekend working on phase 2. For those of people who have been asking how the loft's coming on, I thought I'd share my work. It's not finished, but it's got a long... but yeah, that's where I'm at with it, and we're getting there. I've got to get nest boxes next. That's my next thing. This section on the right, it will be the breeding section. It's about 10 foot wide by 6 foot. Sorry, 10 foot long, 6 foot wide with an aviary on it. and I got to get nest boxes in there. And I was looking at nest boxes to buy. And I thought, you know what, I'll make them. I'll make them with the pull-out trays and that. And then I was costing up the wood this morning. I'm like, I don't actually know if it's even worth making them by the time you've added it up, doing it right. The good thing with making the nest boxes is you make them exactly how you want them. I'd buy the fronts, by the way. I'd buy the folding door fronts. I wouldn't make the fronts. I'd buy the fronts and make up the rest, including the pull-out trays and stuff. But by the time you add it up together, I'm like, I'm not entirely sure whether it's worth it. I want to get 20 nest boxes in there, maybe 25, but wouldn't use 5 unless really needed. So I don't know. I've got to get nest boxes in there. I painted all the aviaries. I was quite pleased with that. I put my own little desk up there. So at some point, when it's all finished, I will do an RPI Live show from the loft, which I'm looking forward to actually, but not going to happen yet because the internet's terrible down there and I've got to get all that sorted out and whatever. But yeah, I don't know whether to try and make the nest boxes myself or buy them. Don't know. It's not that much cheaper by the time you factor the timing and stuff to it. But then I'm thinking, if I make them how I want them. But then if I make them, I'd kind of in-build them into the loft and they wouldn't be movable. And I don't know. Don't know. Opinions on that would be greatly appreciated. Chris Williams is watching again. Brendan Scooter Morgan, Sulang Nabin's watching. Thank you. So yeah, any opinions on nest boxes, let me know. The next thing I got to do on there is lighting as well. There's just one strip light in there at the moment, and I want each section, 3 sections lit, plus the little corner area, the little corridor thing. That needs lighting as well. So I got to figure that out. I've already been advised natural white lighting is what I need. I think I'm going to go with LED on that. I've got some big fans. I've got 2 big fans. I know they're not from what people may think. They're from actually when I used to mine Bitcoin. Used to have a room with machines generating a lot of heat, and I had 2 quite big fans, probably, I don't know, 20 inches diameter. One for pulling air out, one for pushing air in. And certainly up high, above the panels, it gets quite hot. So I'm thinking of putting them in there on a temperature control thing. So I got them already. So I got to get lighting done, I got to get nest boxes done, and a few other little bits and bobs done, and then that's about done. Plus Zandy's got the shed and the aviary down further down with the few fancy pigeons he's got in there as well. So we're getting there. So any opinions on nest boxes, let me know. I want the Kevin Frail says, I have 32 nest boxes for sale soon. Kevin, I'll message you, mate. All right. Mikey Stanton's watching. How you doing, Mikey? I hope you're well. I'll message you, Kevin, later on. Weirdly, Kevin bought a park haul off from me back in 2006 when I had my first false start, when I got a park haul loft and then I had to sell it. And Kevin bought it off me, and I only realised that about however many months ago it was when we spoke about it. But yeah, so opinions on nest boxes, let me know. Lighting. I tell you what I saw when I was over in Ireland. I saw a whole climate control thing. I don't know if people think that's good, bad, necessary, not. That's an interesting thing combined with these fans that I've already got. So any input on that, let me know. I'm open to input. I want to get the nest boxes done, right? And then I want to get the lighting done. And then in my head, that's kind of it. And then it's just little tweaks and whatever, and then it's done. And then I got to move on next because Gabby's waiting for her little bar that she wants in the garden doing as well, which I'm going to double up and use as a little cabin to watch the pigeons flying around. So Yeah. William McCauley, how's you? I'm all right, thank you, William. Thanks for asking. So yeah, the thing is though, Kevin, I've just thinking about it, you're way away, aren't you? You're way away to me, so I don't know what the transport of that would be, but we'll see. But yeah, next week I'm hoping to have Neil on talking about little Charlie Gibson and the fundraiser that he did. I'm hoping he's going to be on there. Please let me know about this book. If you're an expert in your field, whether it be supplements, health, vitality, breeding, probably got breeding covered already actually. Again, none of this by me. Racing, certain types of racing, hens, cocks, what have you. If you're a specific expert within your field and you'd like to contribute to a starter book, let me know, please. I'm going to looking to put one together, collaborate everybody's stuff together, and make it something new starters can use and benefit from. Because, like I said, if it wasn't for me, not necessarily me, but even the contacts I've got to be able to ask people what information he needs, Andy would have no real way of knowing how to start, and that's not good at all. And if you want to go and start keeping, tropical fish, there's a book to read about it all. If you want to start doing pretty much any hobby, there's a book to read. So that's what we're thinking, and I think it's very worthwhile. I will put the poll out later on about RPN Racing Pigeon Network, and if it is a majority positive, I will look to do it. But like Neil said earlier, I'll probably only do it when the mobile app's ready. So we'll see. But if I do it, I will need a few people to help me out with it as well. So yeah, we'll see. That is about it. If you haven't yet joined the RPI Facebook group for now, go and do so at facebook.com/groups/Racing Pigeon International. If you don't like the page, I say this every week, if you don't like the page, if you haven't liked the page, go to Racing Pigeon International on Facebook and like the page. If you want to, I've just hit 4,000 friends on this My Only Now profile. 5,000 friend limit, 4,000 people I've got now. If you would like to friend request me on my personal profile, on my main account, you can do so by going to facebook.com/Marky, M-A-R-K-Y, Lyford. If you go to Mark Lyford without the Y, you'll just see my business page. Marky Lyford, M-A-R-K-Y, Lyford on Facebook. You can request me. But if you request me, I do talk about other things other than pigeons as well. I talk about life, business, music, and family, normal stuff people talk about. If you only want to see pigeon-related stuff from me, go and like the RPI page, facebook.com/Racing Pigeon International, or go and join the group like I've just said. And thank you for watching. We've still got 93 people watching, which is great. I have had a bit of a pruning session from some friends, because I'm only interested in dealing with good, positive people. Thank you for watching. I will be on next week, 8 o'clock, here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and wherever else will have me. And I will be back with RPI Live. In the meantime, keep sane. We've got to wait till Sunday to know what's going on with the lockdown. If I owe you Facebook messages or Skype calls or calls, I'm in catch-up mode again, because I've been busy outside all weekend. I will get back to you, I promise. And thanks again for watching. Be lucky, keep sane, and I will catch you next week.